Hello, my name is Professor Nira Chamberlain, and I'm the president of the Mathematical Association. And welcome to the 16th edition of What is the Point of Mathematics? Now, today we have our special guest, Professor Andrew Osbaldestin. Professor Osbaldestin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Nara. Good to see you again. Yes, Andrew Osbaldestin. I'm emeritus professor of applied mathematics, previously at University of Portsmouth, where I served also as head of department for many years as well. I did a lot of teaching in higher education, about 40 years worth, and also research. And my particular thing is nonlinear dynamics, or as it's more popularly known, chaos theory. And it's great again, as I say, to be with you today.
Yes, and it's good. It's good to actually, and it seems weird. I mean, you for those who don't know, you were my PhD supervisor back in the day. So
Yeah.
yeah, very good, very good. So let me ask you this question: what is the point of mathematics?
Good question, Nara. Back in the day, that was some time ago, wasn't it? What is the point of mathematics? You did tell me that you were going to ask me this question, so I did have a little think of what I might want to say. And I'm an applied mathematician, so what I'm going to say is predicated on that viewpoint. And I always look back to what Galileo said way back, or just to paraphrase Galileo, which is that mathematics is the language of the universe. What he was meaning by then, of course, is how we understand what's going on around us. And one of my many mantras that I use to talk about what we do or get up to as mathematicians and scientists is to talk about how we look around the world. And in short, we observe what's going on around us. We try to predict what's going on around us. And then we want to try and explain what's going on around us. But we could even take it one step further. If you want more of the realm of engineers, then we want to control what's going on around us in the world. But we want to know, what time the sun's going to rise tomorrow, what's the weather's going to be like in a week's time, these sorts of things, some of which we can know very, very well, some of which we can make some intelligent guesses at, the weather I'm thinking of in particular. But it's about understanding the world around us, in my view, and mathematics is the language that helps us to do that. It helps us to make an understanding of who we are, how the world is, how the world's going to evolve. And this is the program that's been going for all of mankind, really. Going even look back to the ancient Egyptians and the Nile floods, understanding what's going to happen there, to more modern concerns. We can all look around us now and talk about the environment, to talk about the rise of AI, developments that are current in our minds. But really, it's a thousands-year-old program, as it were, of mankind to try to make our lives better, try to make the world better, try to make society better. And mathematics is there every inch of the way.
So you're saying that it's been around for 1,000 years. Do you anticipate that it will have the same influence in, let's say, 10, 20, 30 years' time?
I wouldn't quite use that language of saying have the same influence, because in some sense it's always there. So perhaps want to rephrase it a little bit. What you're saying there is that there is always going to be mathematics, whether we're here or not, you might say. It's what we do about it that's the issue. It's what we as a collection of scientists, politicians, business people, is what collectively we decide is important to progress ourselves. And mathematics is going to be there, come what may. Whether it's more or less influence, I don't quite think that's the right way of putting that one.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to move on to this question. Right. So our Prime Minister said at the beginning of this year that mathematics should be made compulsory to everybody up to the age of 18. Do you agree with this, and why?
Well, that's a really difficult question, because there's a pragmatic question and then there's the more philosophical general. We're talking about the education system in this country with all of its problems there, and you're talking about a political hot potato which is current in this country. So we can address the question from that point of view. What should we do in our country in terms of the immediate near future? We could be like the apocryphal mathematician, when asked for directions to some location, says, well, if I were you, I wouldn't start from here. That's one answer to this. But we want to try today to say something. On the other hand, we could be more philosophical, deeper, and look around the world and see what's going on elsewhere. Talk about our ideal world, where we do want to have a better educated population, better educated set of citizens, full stop, and not just mathematics, by the way, of course, or other subjects as well. I haven't said yes or no yet. You'll probably want me to say yes or no, so I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, but the answer is yes, but what does it mean to say mathematics to 18? And it depends who you talk to, and by that I'm thinking of the students. I did have a quick look at what the government has actually said following the Prime Minister's announcement, and there's some quite wise words there about tailoring what the offering might be to the particular students. And I noticed they mention apprenticeships and other avenues for 16 to 18-year-olds in particular, not just the traditional A-level route that I grew up in and did my mathematics then. So there are some wise words within the government's, the department's announcement there. I noticed they also say some things about qualifications for non-specialist mathematicians becoming math teachers. I hope that's not just a way of having workforce which isn't mathematically literate to begin with. Because again, anybody in this country will immediately say, what about the resources? What about the teaching profession? What about the salaries of the teachers? What about the numbers of teachers? That's going to condition any response that anybody's going to make to the question about mathematics to 18. So yes, but is the answer, Nira. What does it mean? What does it mean in terms of the capacity to deliver? And indeed, what is it that should be delivered?
So here we go. Yes, but. I mean, I wouldn't say yes, but is not exactly standing on the fence. It's yes, but under certain conditions. Would you actually agree with that?
Indeed, I say I am a big proponent of the baccalaureate idea for education at that age as well. So I would say a better rounded education can serve all round. I look at my own career. At the age of 16 to 18, I did mathematics, further mathematics and physics as A-level. And that was a very, very narrow diet of studies for 2 years. I think I would have, that was a brilliant foundation for a mathematics degree. But in terms of being a well-rounded citizen, then it took me a lot longer, as it were, to become more in tune with the liberal arts, the humanities, languages, history, and so forth. And I think I would have benefited, or people would benefit from a more wider grounding at that age as well. And again, the baccalaureate comes to mind as a good way of doing that.
I mean, that's interesting, and I'm just going to labour on this point because you said that the A levels that you did was mathematics, further mathematics, and I guess physics.
And physics, correct?
Yeah. Well, my A levels was mathematics, history, and geography, and I do remember being criticised by my teachers at the time, saying, "Why would I want to study mathematics and history?" They said that mathematics and geography goes together, geography and history goes together, but mathematics and history doesn't go together. But I have actually seen the benefits of actually learning history and learning mathematics. And it's only later on in life you come across those mathematicians that are actually into history, the history of mathematics. Yeah, so very, very good point. So, Professor Andrew, thank you very much indeed for this interview. It's I must admit I wouldn't say it's very honourable to speak to my PhD supervisor, back in the day. But yes, very good answers. And so my name is Professor Nira Chamberlain, and I'm the president of the Mathematical Association. And this has been the 16th edition of What is the Point of Mathematics? And again, thank you, Professor Osbaldestin. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, Nira.